This episode of Around the Layout is powered by Rapido Trains.
Buying Rapido trains will make you happy.
Rapido's going back to the 90s for the return of the Mac. SD70 Macs in both HO and N scale in variations you've never seen before. Whether it's coal or racks, you need a 70 Mac. Check out all of the details at rapidotrains.com. Family owned for 25 years, Spring Creek is your destination for model trains. Check out springcreekmodeltrains.com for a wide variety of offerings from today's top manufacturers and exclusive products found nowhere else. Whether in Deschler, Nebraska, or at a train show near you, stop in and say wow. To see where they'll be next, visit their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. Attention Proto Throttle users. If you've ever wanted to have your throttle fit more comfortably in your hand and change the batteries without removing the throttle's case, now you can. Introducing the Narrow Throttle, a new product developed by Scott Thornton that reduces the size of the Proto Throttle by over 25%. Log on to narrowthrottle.square.site to learn more. That's narrowthrottle.square.site. Enjoy more comfort and never have to open the case again. ATLP Extra is our monthly newsletter delivered right to your inbox each month. Sign up for free at atlpextra.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Around the Layout, where model railroaders come to tell their story. My name is Ray Arnott. So glad you could join us. It's time once again to find out what's happening in model railroading. On this episode, we're going to be talking to Mike Zucker from Spring Creek Model Trains, and we're going to be talking about an event that him and I will be hanging out together at. But first, it's time to find out what's trending in model railroading. Athearn has announced Genesis HO Scale Southern Pacific and Cotton Belt ICC C50-5 and C50-9 caboose models. These models are perfect for those modeling the last years of the caboose on the SP or the Cotton Belt, as the International Car Company would cease production just a few short years after these cars were built in 1980. Pre-orders are open now. They close on June 30th, with delivery slated for summer of 2027. Also from Athearn, now in stock at your favorite Athearn dealer, including Spring Creek Model Trains, are the Genesis HO Scale NSC 6000 and 6400 gondolas with a load or cover as specified by the prototype. Not forgetting our N-scale friends, the Athearn Genesis 1160th ACF 4600s have arrived in stores in various road names including Burlington Northern and Western Pacific. Also arriving in N-scale from Athearn are the Berwick bathtub gondolas. Scale Trains has announced the first run of the Fox Valley models HO Scale Thrall 52-foot 6-inch 2244 gondolas in HO Scale, a former Exactrail Evolution model. Back after a 15-year absence, this marks the first former Exactrail tooling to be produced under the Scale Trains name. Continuing with Scale Trains, they have also announced the second run of Rivet Counter HO Scale Trinity 60-foot 7500 series high cube boxcars in a variety of new paint schemes and body styles. They include the special GATX Save the Monarch boxcar and a multitude of TTX variations. If you model the modern era, be sure to check out the pre-order announcements for Scale Train's HO Scale Rivet Counter Trinity 50-foot 6886 high cube insulated EcoBox boxcars on their website, scaletrains.com. Also, be sure to check out their new Rivet Counter HO Scale EMD GP30s while you're there. For our passenger car fans, Bachmann has announced new HO Scale 85-foot smooth side dining cars in a variety of road names, including Baltimore and Ohio, New York Central, and Norfolk and Western. Our N-scale fans might be excited to learn that 3 new models are arriving from Atlas, including the C424 and the C420 locomotives, and the 40-foot PS1 boxcars. In HO Scale, AEM 7 locomotives, Trainman bulkhead flat cars, and Ford F350 high railers are also arriving from Atlas. And for our O-scalers out there, Atlas is reporting the arrival of Trinity 5161 covered hoppers, 60-foot auto parts boxcars, 33,000-gallon tank cars, and Trainman bulkhead flat cars. As I learned on my trip this month to Markham, Ontario, our good friends at Rapido Trains did a soft announcement for Trenton Works 5277 boxcars in a variety of Canadian national variations throughout their years of service. I know I'll be looking forward to the full announcement coming soon, as these paper and pulp hauling Plate C cars were spotted throughout North America, including my backyard. I also learned that the Rapido CF7s are beginning to arrive at Rapido in Markham and Buffalo, New York, and should be in your favorite hobby shop soon. All of these announcements and much, much more are covered on Joe Trains YouTube channel, where Joe provides weekly recaps on product announcements and model railroading news. Be sure to subscribe by clicking on the link on our show notes aroundthelayout.com/239. And that's what's trending in model railroading. And now it's time for our deep dive. This is where we go beyond the press release with a newsmaker in the hobby. And joining me this month is Mike Zucker from Spring Creek Model Trains. Mike, good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you, Ray. Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate that.
No, awesome to see you again and in chat and catch up on all the things. I haven't seen you since Amherst. It's been crazy that it was snowing then and now I'm sweating. It's a completely different swap of things that are going on.
Oh, totally. Right. You go through scooping like 2 foot of snow to get out to the airport, and now you can just trying to find a place to cool off. But that's a great thing about the seasons we have, right? So
that's for sure. Now we talked about seasons. Let's talk about model railroading season. Are you one that believes that there is a model railroading season, or is it really 4 seasons a year?
Well, I think I personally believe that model trains happens all the time. I mean, we always got an opportunity here around the store, right? Jeff and I or Jeff's working on his layout, been helping him with that. It's been fun seeing my dad and Mark Hessel that works for us. They've been working on building rail cars here, even in the summertime. So that does inspire keeping things going, being active in the hobby. You can keep going to different shows, but you do see it from a business standpoint that the summertime is a slower time. People getting a lot more family activities during the summer. So we definitely see it from a business aspect that the fall, winter, early spring is the busy time for model trains.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem to slow down for you folks when it comes to hitting the road. I mean, I'm looking at your schedule now on springcreekmodeltrains.com, and heck, you've even got a show going on the weekend that we're recording this right now. Talk a little bit about that, because that's a little bit of a special event for the Zucker family.
It is. So, yeah, we're actually at 2 shows this weekend. So we got Dave and Deb are out in Cheyenne, Wyoming right now. They're doing the Sherman Hill show. So they've been going to that for a long time, and they're back out on the road with the big trailer. And then I had a crazy time coming home from our N-Scale show in Ohio, and my son that was with me, he was like, "Dad, is there an opportunity for, my sister and I and our little brother to maybe do a train show? Help us out, give us something to do this summer, opportunity to make some money, as kids." And, we got home, we talked about it a little more, and we talked about the show in Hutchinson, Kansas, which is just a couple hours south of us. So my wife and I's 3 kids are down there, 3rd generation Zuckers running a train show here this weekend by themselves. So it's been fun. They've done a great job. They loaded out the truckload that they took down there. They had a nice setup, and they've been having fun today running the show. And of course, they'll be doing it again tomorrow and on their way home. So pretty awesome to see that they were willing to do it, and pretty excited when they left.
That's got to be so awesome. I mean, of course, for you and your wife to see this, I mean, you're now 2nd generation Zucker in this family business, but now, and even with your dad, 1st generation founder of all of this, to see his grandkids out there taking this dream that he had out on the road and working for the family business, it's got to be a really cool thing.
Yeah, I think him and Mom are both pretty excited about it. They both, Mom did a lot of research. We didn't quite know, how it was all going to work out there. They're in the state of Kansas, but she did all the research to make sure it could happen. And then, Dad was super supportive of it. Just we don't know how it's going to work with 3rd generation young kids. They don't know all the answers, right, when customers ask the questions, but they're going to be truthful on what they do know. And that's all you can ask for out there. And trying to support the hobby, support the business. And it's cool to see. And at the same aspect, they're helping us here at the store this summer. So we got the two oldest here at the store. We got Jeff's oldest. She's here at the store helping us out. So 3 generations of Zuckers every day here at the store. So it's pretty crazy right now this summer.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think for a model railroader to know that your local hobby shop in a world where we start to see these fade out, there's no succession plan and first generation and last generation all in one into a hobby shop. You folks are doing it different. You have the family involved, you and your brother Jeff involved, and then from there now your kids getting involved. There is a great hope to the future, and that means a lot. At least I know does to me, to know that hobby shop is going to be there for years to come. And I'm sure that's your dream, that's your plan.
Yeah, no, that's a passion of ours, right? The old school hobby store, right? Or the combination old school, new school hobby store. Be able to put your hands on the product before you buy it. If you're able to make it to our brick and mortar, or you make it to one of our train shows that we're at, that's important to us. That's something that, dad and mom started, how to do the business, right? That's how most of us grew up, going to hobbies, to a hobby store or to a train show to be able to see stuff before you bought it, talk to folks about it. And that's something that, Jeff and I love about the hobby. So seeing that come around and that the third generation's even interested in it is pretty exciting to see at such a young age. That's the cool thing about model trains, though, too, is that you can do it so many different ways, just like in the business, right? There's different sides of the business that somebody could get interested in and continue on the legacy of what was started.
As we start to work our way up to this announcement that you're on the show for, let's talk a little bit about this logistics, because this is a pretty complicated schedule in my mind. And I know that you've at times have even more complication going on, but right now, mom and dad are in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You've got your kids in Hutchinson, Kansas. And then it looks like within a week or two, you guys are going to the National N Scale Convention. I imagine you are going to that one. N scale, the resident N scaler's got to be there, right, Mike?
Yep. The reason we have N scale at Spring Creek Model Trains is going to head to the N Scale National. So, but yeah, my son and I, and well, actually both sons and I are going to go and do the N Scale National Convention. So we're going to be taking all the product that they took out to Cheyenne. So mom and dad will be sorting that out, bringing that back. We'll load that up in a different vehicle and haul it to N Scale National and go do that. And then we come back and then the schedule really gets crazy for us, right? We're off of the start with dad heading to the St. Louis RPM there at the end of July.
Yeah, let's talk about St. Louis RPM for just a moment, because that's a one that isn't a lot of people. This isn't it's not a train show at all. It's an RPM meet, but it is the granddaddy of them all, right? It is, to me, that's the big one. That's the Super Bowl, Daytona 500, World Series, Stanley Cup final of RPMs. I don't know. Keep going with the analogies. It'll get me in more and more trouble. But but St. Louis really is the big one, and it's great to have, in my opinion, a vendor like Spring Creek Model Trains there, because that flywheel starts turning at the RPM. Or you get in a situation where you're in front of a Butch Eiler or Dave Apadesano or Tony Sissons or many of these other learning stations. But I got to have something in my hand to walk over there to, and I got a place to go, and that's right over in the corner from Spring Creek.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We've been a staple there at the St. Louis RPM for a long time. We've just been talking with Lonnie just this last week about, our location. My dad's excited about being set up in the same spot again. So he's got two of his buddies that are going to go down there with him. So Bruce and Mark will be there at the St. Louis RPM. And the one thing I like to say or think about and my dad's always done this, is at the St. Louis RPM, we really look at what product goes. For one thing, we don't take the big trailer just the way that show is set up. So we take a separate load. So he really looks at what who's attending that RPM or that show. So we haul a lot of details, right? We haul a lot of 3D printed stuff, different things that you just don't show, have at a normal, quote unquote, normal train show, right? We're going to take it because of what's being talked about, what's being, detailed, right? So you have a little more of those kind of things with when we go, we have that in our inventory. So that's always been an interesting fact or a part of what we do there. Jeff and I have done that show a couple times when Dad's been double booked, and it is it's a fun show. It's fun to talk to those guys because, man, you really can get into I don't know, I'll call it the weeds of model railroading or detailing, and you can really learn some stuff, right? If you just stand there and listen, sit and listen as you have a conversation with somebody.
Well, it's nice that you're nimble enough where you can customize around the crowd that you have. A train show crowd is certainly a different crowd than the RPM crowd for sure.
Yep, that is for sure. So we try to do that. We're not always successful, but that's something we always think about or figure out if we can do it or not.
And the St. Louis RPM kicks off what will be a busy 3 weekends ahead. So let's talk about the logistics. You've got Dad and team down at the St. Louis RPM. And then we have the NMRA National Train Show in Chattanooga. Yep. So we got to pick up from Collinsville, Illinois, and we got to get everybody to Chattanooga. Talk about how all that logistics comes together.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So we've been talking about it quite a bit. We're still kind of finalizing all of our plans, but Mom and Jeff and I will still be here at the store getting new product ready to go. The trailer will be here, so Dad will drive back to Deschler. We'll get the trailer, get all the new stuff loaded up. And then him and Mom, and I think Jeff are going to travel off in the trailer. They're going to hopefully make some stops on the way down, check some things out on their way to Chattanooga. I'm going to stay back. I think I'm going to fly down as our current plan to be able to stay here, help the store so that we're not all gone for, like 7 or 10 days at a time, just trying to help keep the business going, helping our staff here. So we'll all get down there. We'll work the booth. We'll get set up. We got a couple friends showing up. They're going to help us with the booth. So we should be in good setup for the weekend show there at Chattanooga. I think it's even crazier after that. We got to get the trailer right on the road because the next weekend we are in the western side of Wyoming for a train show at the Evanston, Wyoming Roundhouse Festival, I think is what they call it. So we got to get that trailer all the way back to Deschler, get it reloaded, and then get Mom and Dad on the way to Evanston. So it's quite the haul that Mom and Dad are going to be doing those couple days, and Jeff and I are going to be in there just trying to help make sure we get it all logistics done to get them back. So
I would say sometime around August 11th, don't call Dave and Deb because they probably are going to be a little exhausted after really 3 weeks. And, especially Dave, starting really, before July 24th, heading out to Illinois and then over to Chattanooga and then back to Wyoming. There'll definitely be some miles on the rig after all of that kind of travel. And then a little bit of a break before you have to go back out and do the Central Arkansas Train and Hobby Show in Conway. So that's definitely a very busy summer. So I would say as far as model railroading season, there is no stop at Spring Creek Model Trains.
That is true. There is no stop for us. We'll put together these kind of schedules at the beginning of the year, keep looking at it throughout the year and, seeing what we can fit in, what makes sense, right? And how well are the bodies doing at that point in time, right? And make those decisions. But yeah, it never ends.
Well, that's certainly quite a dedication to getting Spring Creek Model Trains out of Deschler, Nebraska, and getting it out to the foot of the customer, us modelers at all these awesome train shows and being able to see it, folks. Of course, nothing beats going to Deschler, Nebraska and seeing the store itself, walk in and either say wow or just go completely catatonic like I have done when I walked in, and I can't wait to go catatonic again the next time I get myself out to Deschler, Nebraska. But I'm going to be seeing you folks very soon. Of course, I'll be seeing Dad and team at the St. Louis RPM, but let's talk about that national train show and some exciting things that we got going on there. Let's tell the folks what they can expect when they go over to the Spring Creek Model Trains booth at the National Train Show.
Yeah, besides our, normal setup at a national train show, you're going to be able to get to meet Ray Arnott there. He'll be hanging out with us in the booth, promoting the Around the Layout podcast, be able to talk to fans there. Also, just talking about his experience, I guess, that he's had here at the store and other places with us. I think it's going to be a good time being able to see all the different fans, right, of Around the Layout come through, talk to you, Ray, and then our opportunity just to get to meet some of them and talk to them a little bit about model trains and what they like.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to hanging out with the fine folks at Spring Creek Model Trains and doing that at the National Train Show. And then again, that opportunity and being able to work with you folks in the booth to see the people that are attending the National Train Show and hear their stories and meet new folks, shake hands, and just have a great time. That's going to be 2 fun-filled days of model trains in Chattanooga. I'm so excited to work with Spring Creek Model Trains on this. And I know it's going to be beneficial to folks, not only meeting us and being able to share their stories and hear from us as well, but some chances to win as well.
That is right. That is right. No, we got a couple things we're giving for giveaways that we have, and we got a real cool HO scale Athearn Genesis, one of the new GP38-2s with Tsunami 2 sound in it. So we'll be giving that away down there at the show. And we got a couple N scale items that we'll be giving away. So obviously some other swag too that will be there with us that we'll be able to give away to folks. I'm looking forward to that. I think we're going to be doing sign up for both of the newsletters from your show and then from our store, right, as the opportunity for the giveaway. So
yeah, so what an awesome opportunity that's going to be able to win an awesome prize by signing up to the Spring Creek Model Trains newsletter and the Around the Layout podcast newsletter. You show us that you're signed up for both. And even if you're not on site and you still sign up on that weekend, you'll still have a chance to win. So even if you don't get a chance to come down to the National Train Show, but if you're in person, it'll be another awesome opportunity. Again, another awesome opportunity not only to see Spring Creek Model Train, see myself. How about all these major manufacturers that are there as well? So you get to go talk to them, you get the inside information, and then go over to Spring Creek Model Trains and buy it. It's a great opportunity.
It is a great opportunity. That's one of the neat things about some of these train shows that are out there that have really established themselves, right? There's several, obviously, throughout the year that we've talked about that the manufacturers show up at and are discussing their new product, discussing or at least gathering information on potential new ideas that are coming out or that they could do, right, with a customer might have. NMRA show, the national show, right? You get a lot of the main brands. Obviously, in Chattanooga, we're going to see scale trains there. I know Athearn's going to be there. I'm sure Atlas will be showing up. So we'll see all kinds of different new announcements, opportunity to talk to the representatives there and just see what's going on. And I think that's always a fun aspect of it, right? For any of the hobbyists to get to go and see and talk to the guys that are doing it. And then, of course, we try to make sure that we're carrying all the new stuff as we go to all these different train shows. So, and we try our darndest to carry all the different brands that are out there and have a good stock of that in the show trailer, I guess, as we go. So,
I know one thing I enjoy, and I know you enjoy, is being at the foot of the customer, or for me, the foot of the listener. And for the manufacturers, I know they feel the same way. That's why they go to these shows. They're looking to get that feedback and hear from the modeler and talk to them about new ideas. So this is an awesome opportunity. And if you can't find a way to the National Train Show, like you mentioned, there's a couple others that are out there as well. Amherst being one of them, the Railroad Hobby Show up in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and Train Fest being the other. I mean, you've got these opportunities to get in front of these awesome manufacturers who, by the way, are modelers themselves. And you find that out by having a conversation with them and be able to see what's going on and have that access. I mean, that's the really cool part, right? The access to these folks and hear the stories behind manufacturing these products as well. It gives you a better understanding of all of it.
Yeah, I think tying that into that they are a modeler, right? I mean, we're good friends with Matt Gentry and have been for a while, and getting to see, his passion for coal cars, right? And be able to see some of the new coal cars that are come out. I mean, that's just one example. I could go on and on with the different folks that are out there, that model train buffs, that get to manufacture the product that we all see. And they do listen, right? I mean, not every idea is going to get made, right? Or made right away. But, different ideas that are out there, different cars that we're missing, and in HO scale with the new stuff that's coming out, in the class ones, there's ample opportunity, right? Chances to talk, chances to maybe get your project to come to life down the road.
Yeah, that's definitely a one plus of going to an event like the National Train Show at the 2026 NMRA National Convention in Chattanooga. Let's talk about location. Ain't that cool? We're going to Chattanooga, Tennessee. What a beautiful area to be in for a train show.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be my first time in like I guess the southeastern part of Tennessee, so I'm pretty excited about it to see this part of the country, see these I guess the Smoky Mountains, so to be down there in that part. So I'm pretty excited for that. Get down there, so it's gonna be fun to see the where Scale Trains is at in that area, and just get to meet a new area of the country where modelers are at. So.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to, we talked about all this logistics, but the blessing behind all of that between your parents and yourself, and now even your kids, is being able to be out on the road and seeing so much. I can just imagine just how much you've been able to take in really from coast to coast by doing all this traveling for Spring Creek model trains.
Oh yeah. No, we try to take advantage of it when we're out. A lot of times, work schedules dictate on how fast you get from one place to the other, but you take opportunities when you're there to at least go out and see different things that you may have never seen before, right? And you may not get to see again. I like that about some of these national shows. So, like the NMRA or the N Scale National goes to a different location every year. So you get an opportunity to drive somewhere else, see a different city. But, with going to some of the regulars like Amherst, right, or Train Fest, right, you can kind of get to know the area a little better, go to your favorite spot. I know I do that a lot when I go to Denver. I get an opportunity to see family when I go out to that Rocky Mountain Train Show. And I will say, I should have mentioned it earlier, that's another great show for folks to get to see manufacturers. That show's done a great job of hosting manufacturers out there. So.
Yeah, another great opportunity there in Colorado. Beautiful job with the Rocky Mountain Train Show. Like you said, they're doing out there. And I know you folks that do so many shows. And again, you can check out that show schedule on your website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And we'll share the links in our show notes around the layout.com/239. Now, I know this is all subject to availability, but I know there's been quite a few new announcements lately. We covered some at the top of the show. But let's talk about some of the things you can kind of project that they'll be able to see at the National Train Show at the Spring Creek Model Trains booth.
Yeah, we're expecting to be getting the new run of the HO Scale Gevos from Scale Trains. Those are going to be showing up here pretty soon at the store, so we should still have some of those available in the show trailer as they go. We're hearing that the Rapido CF7s and the FTs and HO Scale are on their way, so we're just waiting for them to hit our distributor so we can get those all processed into the store. So that's going to be fun to see. I'm really excited about the CF7. So I thought that was a pretty unique locomotive.
Absolutely.
Athearn, we're hearing that the Athearn Genesis SD70s are coming. So those are going to be fun. A lot of people are asking about them. So we're waiting for them to show up. We have recently just got the new 6400 and 6000 Gons in from Athearn. So that's a brand new mold. Those things are fun. It's amazing how often you see those out, on modern trains now. So I think that's pretty cool. So should have those available. I know Atlas has got a lot of stuff coming. I think you got a list too of what's coming from them, but I know the C420s, we have a whole list. I think some of the Ford pickups are coming from Atlas right now in HO Scale. So, and I know there's some new things in N Scale are out there where we did get notified from Scale Trains about the the 3223 covered hopper, the little 2-bay covered hopper that they did. It could be a 3250, but that's on its way or should be here soon. The one I'm excited about to see is Microtrains by Atlas.
Yeah.
So got the new announcement there. We got stuff on order. So if the trend holds true there, I think those are going to be showing up here late June, early July. So we should be able to have those in the trailer by Chattanooga also.
Yeah, like we talked about with the St. Louis RPM and momentum and in that flywheel turning, the NMRA National Convention is going to provide you with that flywheel turning, and no better way to keep that flywheel turning than make sure you have the stuff you need before you leave and, going over and hitting the Spring Creek Model Trains booth, especially for some of the stuff. And I always think of this, the logistics of shipping things like track or some of the smaller stuff where the shipping outweighs the cost. But now you have an opportunity. Spring Creek has brought it all to you. now's a great time to grab a hold of that stuff and save those shipping costs.
Oh, yeah. You can call ahead and see if we're going to be bringing some stuff. If you know what you already want, you can definitely pre-pay and we'll, free deliver it to you at the show. We do all those kind of different things. So you can definitely just call the store and talk to us here, and we can get that logistics figured out with you, whatever show it is. Definitely something within the next couple of months. We're always willing to do that and get things scheduled up with you. But what we typically do is we have a box or a bag or something underneath the table. It's got your name on it and everything. So it's definitely not out on the table for you to go find, right? You need to hit up one of us working the booth and we'll find it for you and, let you look at it or whatever, or pick up your purchase. So.
And that's really the sampling of that personalized service that you guys pride yourselves on so much, isn't it? That you're able to, if you don't see it on the website, give us a call. And that I know that's your mentality, isn't it?
Always. We're constantly growing our website and the amount of stuff that's out there. So we're making some big strides here on that, which is exciting for us here. But, that doesn't stop us from answering the phone, right? If, you got a question about what you see on the website, maybe you need to ask us what the end of the car looks like because the picture isn't showing it, right? We'll do that. We'll take a picture of it, whatever, send it back to you. If you got questions about your track or what type of track to use, I've been helping a gentleman in Indiana right now with his wiring. So he's sending pictures back and forth to me. I'm trying to give him tips that I can see in what he sends us. But, that's just part of that customer service, personal. We try to be that guy that you can talk to over the phone about a problem. We're not going to make something up. We're going to tell you if we don't know, right? We don't know, but we might give you a couple tips to look at.
The hobby shop historically has been that part of the hobby, right? The information center. And I know once, the move to go online, and I know Spring Creek has made the move to go online and offer, online sales, but that special component of being able to walk into or contact a hobby shop, that was really the hub, right? And in reality, it still is the hub. I know I go to my local hobby shop and it's the same way. You got people that know people and can point you in the right direction and do that. And you guys can really do it on a national level because you've been to so many places and meet so many folks. It gives you that opportunity to know them, or if you know somebody's in the area, try to connect to people. That's really awesome what you've been able to provide there.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely what we try to do. And, just like you said, be that spot. If you don't have a local store, you can give us a call, talk to us. We have our own local customers that come in and talk to us about different things and how they're building their layout. Right. And as I mentioned, we got people from a couple states away that are calling and talking, and, with the advantage of what you can do with the internet, we can see different things or talk through different things a lot easier than what you could in the past. But we try to use all those different technologies to be able to help answer questions.
Awesome stuff. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to being with you and the Zucker family in Chattanooga, Tennessee for the 2026 National Train Show, meeting all the attendees who come by and see what's going on at the Spring Creek Model Trains booth, talking to them and hearing their stories and seeing what they're buying and hearing all of what they're into and sharing all the passion that comes with model railroading. For folks that are looking to make a purchase or maybe even get something pre-ordered to be sent to them either in St. Louis or at the National Train Show in Chattanooga or any of the stops on your schedule, tell us how we get a hold of you.
Yeah, the best way to do it, you can email us at customerservice@springcreekmodeltrains.com, or you can give us a call at the store at 402-365-7628, and we will do the best to help you out and get things coordinated for you.
Awesome stuff. Well, I know you'll do that. We'll provide all the links on our show notes aroundthelayout.com/239. Mike, looking forward to hanging out with you in Chattanooga.
It's going to be a blast, Ray. I'm excited to have you there. I think it's going to be so much fun. Like you just said, being able to talk to everybody, talk about what their passions are, see what they're buying, what fits into their layout or their dreams of a layout is one of the best things to do when you're out. So that's going to be fun to see the interaction with you and seeing how that goes. So be awesome.
And now it's time for the RPM report. Eric Hansman, take it away.
Here we are with your June Railroad Prototype Modeler Report. I attended the New England Northeast Railroad Prototype Modeler Meet last month in Springfield, Massachusetts. About 250 modelers were at this meet. It's also known as NERPM. I had a great time attending several presentations and sitting in on the learning stations. I brought home new weathering ideas by watching Ted DiIorio, Butch Eiler, and Tony Sissons demonstrate methods they employ. Ray, our illustrious podcast host, was right there soaking up the ideas too. There were about 800 models on display and a number of vendors with some great kits, details, photos, and books. I brought home a couple. I've posted a summary on my Design Build Op blog along with a photo gallery link. More photos have been posted on the NERPM Facebook page. The RPM calendar quiets down a bit in the summer months, but there are a few outstanding events. June closes out with the Bay Area Prototype Modeler Meet in the San Francisco area. The St. Louis RPM will be July 23rd through the 25th at the Gateway Convention Center in Collinsville, Illinois. This is one of the largest prototype modeler events each year, with thousands of models on display. This year's focus is on operation as the key to modeling your prototype. Members of the Operations Special Interest Group and the Layout Design Special Interest Group are presenting some clinics. The Layout Design Group will also offer design consultations, so sign up if you need some help. August wraps up with the Waterloo Railway Exposition in Ontario, Canada for the final weekend, and September features the Anthracite Railroad Modelers Meet in Hamburg, Pennsylvania on the 19th through the 21st. For information and links to these and more upcoming events, check the RPM calendar link at aroundthelayout.com/RPM. Make plans to attend a prototype modeler meet near you. I'll be back next month with another RPM report. Until then, let the prototype be your guide.
And now it's time to find out what's happening in and around ATLP Universe. On Saturday, July 11th, the Chemung Valley Railroad Historical Society is hosting Train Day at Eldridge Park in Elmira, New York. This event will include several vendors, exhibitors, and layouts. It's a free event with donations welcome. We'll provide a link to the Facebook event in our show notes, aroundthelayout.com/239. We're fresh off the New England RPM, and after debuting the new Tony Sissons Are You a Modeler t-shirt, our fan shop has been updated with the shirt for sale for a good cause. At first it was $5, but now we bumped it up to $10 for each shirt sold will go to the learning station efforts of Tony Sissons, Butch Eiler, and Dave Apadesano at RPMs across the country. These three gentlemen have provided an amazing opportunity for so many to sit down, use their supplies, and get hands-on lessons on weathering, and these funds will be used to keep that going. You can order yours today at aroundthelayout.com/shop. The National N-Scale Convention will be held June 23rd through the 27th at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with a train show to wrap up the event June 26th and 27th. Be sure to stop by and see Mike Zucker at the Spring Creek Model Trains booth. More information on this event can be found on their website, and we'll provide links in our show notes at aroundthelayout.com/239. The St. Louis RPM is drawing near, and I'll be back out in Collinsville, Illinois, July 23rd through the 25th for the largest annual RPM event in the United States. Make plans to join us for all of the festivities surrounding this event by going to their website, stlrpm.com. We're giving away a hard-sided storage and transport case thanks to our friends at modeltrainbox.com. Simply subscribe to ATLP Extra, our free monthly newsletter, at atlpextra.com by July 9th. We'll announce the winner in our July edition of ATLP Extra, and if you're already subscribed, you're already entered to win. Speaking of winning, we'll go live on Sunday, June 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our YouTube channel for our next Operating Crew giveaway, powered by Home Shops. To be eligible for this giveaway, simply sign up for the Operating Crew for as little as $3 a month at aroundthelayout.com/crew. Operating Crew members also receive an exclusive sticker, discounts to select retailers, previews of upcoming episodes, invites to 2 weekly live chats, and much more. I'm Ray Arnott, and now you know what's happening in model railroading. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Around the Layout. Learn more about today's episode, check out past shows, and much more on our website, aroundthelayout.com. Show your support by becoming an operating crew member at aroundthelayout.com/crew. Follow us on social media, aroundthelayout.com/social. And send us your feedback, aroundthelayout@gmail.com. Thanks for hanging out with us around the layout.